After a regrettable delay thanks to Plaguefather Nurgle, it's time for January's voted Thematic List Build. Thank you all for voicing your picks, but it was a landslide victory for the most terrifying legion among the Chaos Space Marines. This one is for the Sons of Kurz, the Denizens of the Dark, a thematic list build for the Night Lords. For those new, the goal of the Thematic List Build series is to create a 2K Strike Force sized list based around a theme related to the focused faction. And with that stated, let's take a look at the subfaction rules. The Chaos Space Marines subfaction rules are classified as Legion traits, and the Night Lord's trait is Terror Tactics. It offers a single perk, allowing you to stack leadership debuffs against enemy units within 6 inches of your infantry, biker, and hellbrute models to a maximum of -3. And that's it for the Night Lords, no army-wide dynamic system to be seen. Look, at the time of making this video, the Chaos Space Marine rules are old as shit. Maybe it's a case of art imitates life, the legions of old having rules written to a subpar standard of a previous edition. I've made videos about this disparity ad nauseum, but I've said my piece on it for this video. Let's carry on. Regarding the thematic objectives of the list, they are Raptorial Host. I qualify fear mechanics are best represented by rules which offer exceptions or utility. Movement is a great inroad in this regard, and so we want to have a flexible force which features the jump infantry associated with the Night Lords. Claws of the Night Haunter. Since the Night Lords aren't warriors in the conventional sense, we don't want to feature the weapons of soldiers. Wherever possible, the goal will be to flex savage weapons like lightning claws, to really sell that Night Haunter angle. And Nostromo Born. Since the Night Lords aren't known for their affinity towards the demonic, this last objective is to keep demon units at a minimum. Now, let's go over to the list breakdown. The list is structured into a patrol and an outrider, which sets the initial command point count to 9. Let's start with the troops. In our battalion, taking up 2 slots are 2 units of Chaos Space Marines, taken with bolt guns, and the aspiring champions taking a single lightning claw each. Taking up the last troop slot is a group of Chaos Cultists. They are 20 strong, all taken with autoguns. Our Warlord is a Chaos Lord with a jump pack and 2 lightning claws. He's been tooled up to be a bruiser. On the charge, he has 7 attacks hitting on 2s, rerolling wounds. And because his rules are old, he can reroll his own ones to hit. It's worth keeping in mind the changes to Death to the False Emperor, which will allow any 6s to hit to score 2 hits instead of 1. His Warlord trait further complements this. Murderous Reputation will grant hit rolls of 6 to also score 1 mortal wound in addition to the normal damage. For his relic, I've gone with the Vox Demonicus. You could double down on offense and instead upgrade his lightning claws. But what's more terrifying? Making his combat deadlier, or allowing him to shut down auras to a 1-inch range. And that makes up the core of the list. It's a pretty modest base, but let's add some units to dial up its intimidation. Taking up 2 heavy support slots are 2 units of Havocs, marked Slanesh because it opens them up for the Endless Cacophony stratagem should they need to shoot twice. The first unit is equipped with Reaper chain cannons, and the second is equipped with Las cannons. Between the two, we got a dedicated anti-infantry unit and a dedicated mech/monster unit, if the enemy units don't have invulnerable saves. In which case you might be better off leaning on the chain cannons, relying on their weight of dice. Feel free to check out my video on the problem with invulnerable saves if you want to learn more. Those Havocs are then followed up with a unit of Chaos Terminators in the Outrider detachment. They are 5 men strong, and each is equipped with a Stormbolter and a Lightning Claw. The unit is also marked Slanesh and given an icon of excess, as it will allow their Death to the False Emperor to go off on 5s instead of 6s. Those Terminators are then followed up with 2 Hellbrutes. It's for these scenarios I wish Chaos Dreadnoughts were a thing, but instead we have to make do. Each Hellbrute is equipped with a Multi-Melta and a Power Scourge, giving it a limited, if not more reliable, anti-tank shooting option, and a weapon suited for dealing with elite infantry and light vehicles in the Power Scourge. And accompanying those Hellbrutes is the Leviathan Dreadnought, which regrettably knocks down another command point. It's armed with the Grav Flux Bombard, allowing it to operate against the same targets at the same range as the Hellbrute's Multi-Meltas. And its other arm is equipped as a Siege Claw with a built-in Melta-Gun. And additionally, it's been fitted with 3 Hunter-Killer missiles and 2 Heavy Flamers. Those units certainly add some threat, but now to add some terrifying utility and flexibility. To provide this, taking up 2 fast attack slots are 2 Dreadclaw drop pods. Not only do these fast attack transports have the typical utility and flexibility provided by pre-game embarking decisions, but as drop pods they can come down turn 1, providing a powerful exception. They transport 10 infantry models, but can uniquely hold jump pack infantry taking up 3 slots, or Hellbrutes taking up all the slots. So you have quite the combination of pairings depending whether you want Marines arriving forward, or Havocs and a support character, or a Hellbrute arriving turn 1. And unlike the standard drop pod, once it arrives it can still move. But there's even more to this drop pod. Its thermal jets ability will allow it to deal mortal wounds to a unit it moves over. And it can fight. The caveat is that it's weapon skill 4, but beyond that with its blade struts it basically fights like a dreadnought, which is not insignificant. Moving on to the Outrider detachment. It's led by a sorcerer with a Force Stave, Jump Pack, and the Mark of Slaanesh. His powers are the default Smite, Delightful Agonies, which will give a unit marked Slaanesh a 5-up Feel No Pain to ignore wounds, and Prescience, which has found some revitalized utility, allowing Death to the False Emperor to go off on hit rolls of 5+ rather than just 6s. And if those units have an Icon of Excess, which already lowers that threshold to 5+, then we're looking at an effective 4+ for those exploding melee hit rolls. The remainder of this detachment makes up the Raptorial Host. The first unit of this detachment is a unit of Warp Talons marked Slaanesh. It's 5 men strong with each member equipped with 2 Lightning Claws, giving them 21 attacks on the charge before Death to the False Emperor kicks in, making them quite the blender of a unit. But they also have the added benefit of denying Overwatch should you need it. If so, use the stratagem Raptor Strike to charge with 3 dice instead of 2 on the turn they arrive from reserves. This is then followed up with 3 units of Raptors, all 5 men strong, marked Slaanesh with the Icon of Excess, and the champions being equipped with 2 Lightning Claws each. While they have less attacks at a worse quality than the Warp Talons, each squad has Death to the False Emperor on 5s thanks to the Icon of Excess, which can be tuned up with Prescience to exploding 4s. And having 3 units of them will help ensure you're able to move the Night Lords where you need them for a few final, terrifying tricks. Vox Scream allows you to turn off a unit's aura abilities if they are within 18 inches of a unit. We Have Come For You will allow any non-vehicle Night Lords unit to deny enemy units which are not vehicles or Titanic from falling back. And Prey on the Weak, which will allow a Night Lords unit to add 1 to hit rolls if they are attacking a unit with a lower leadership than their own, which uniquely works in shooting, and can allow you to give 2 Icon of Excess units exploding hit rolls of 4 if used in conjunction with Prescience. And that's the list. It comes to 2,000 points and provides 8 command points after the Outrider detachment and Leviathan Dreadnought tax. I really like how this list came together. Despite the neglected state of the foundational rules, I think there's some real play here thanks to the strong hand of mechanics the Night Lords can access through Faith and Fury. And thematically it certainly hits the goals for the 8th Legion. It's got a ton of big brain flexibility across the amount of transport play and units with built-in deep strike, made especially sweeter with the units being able to deny enemies from using their auras and falling back. And it flexes a ton of units with jump packs and lots of units with claw weapons, which includes even the drop pods. It all results in an army which is primed to utilize their tactics and tools to terrorize the worshippers of the Corpse Emperor. That's a wrap on this one. Thanks for voicing your picks for this Night Lord's Thematic List build. And thanks for watching, with a special thanks to my patrons, Julius Maximus, as well as the others who help keep the dream alive. This was my Night Lord's Thematic List build. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to drop them down below. And if you're a Night Lords player, I'd be curious to know how you are finding them in 9th edition. So, if you enjoyed this video, there's a like button. And if you want to help this channel grow, there is a subscribe button. There's also a bell button and a share button, so press the buttons you want to press. And with that, I will hope to see you guys in the next one.